Hey, I'm Megan, and I guess you could say I'm a pedal demoer. Now, I won't bore you with more introduction, so I'll cut straight to the chase and say today I'm here to address a question I've seen pop up quite a bit on the online guitar pedal scene, and that is, are pedal demos honest? Even if you haven't seen the discourse online regarding this issue, you've probably been there yourself a few times when a new highly anticipated pedal comes out and all the sounds in the demos and the reviews make it seem like the perfect fit for your pedal board. Of course, that's exciting, so you order this thing, you wait all week for it to arrive in the mail, and when it finally does, you plug it in, and that's when you find out it sounds nothing like the demos. Why doesn't it sound like the demos? But okay, you're a reasonable person. Maybe it's you. Your ears, different guitar and amp combo, the mic and recording setup, the nature of the room and your volume levels, the day of the week, the alignment of the stars. Does Mercury have to be in fucking retrograde for this shit to sound good? No, that's not it. None of that's it. The only logically reasonable conclusion is, of course, pedal demos are lies. And I'm here to say, as a pedal demoer myself, that is absolutely true. The thing is, good sounding pedals, they don't exist. They never have. But good demos do, and that's probably why you keep buying them. I sold my soul to the devil, so I've been doing it for a couple years now, and in this video, I'm gonna finally expose the secrets that Big Pedal has kept hidden from you for years. Right here, right now, I'm going to show you exactly what goes on behind the scenes in a pedal demo that makes you think these things sound good. Now, surprisingly, it's not as hard as you might think. It actually takes very little time, effort, and skill to make a pedal sound good over the internet, and I mean truly, it is shockingly easy. Let me show you. The key is plugins, a lot of plugins, but there's actually only 3 main ones that all of us demoers use. They come in a starter pack sent from an undisclosed location, and we all get them along with a hefty packet that's titled Auditory Deception 101. Of course, I can only speak to my own process, but I do follow the outline laid out in the packet. There's a small clause at the bottom that says something like, under penalty of death, you have to follow these exact rules, so I can only assume the other demoers are doing the same thing given that, well, they're still alive. Anyways, for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to show you something that no pedal demoer has done before. I'm going to show you my tone running straight through a pedal. This is completely unprocessed, raw audio recorded straight from my amp. Yikes. So, we start off with at least one Sound Betterer plugin by Infinite Space Audio. Now, I say at least one because usually it's a lot more. I'm not quite sure how this plugin works, but I do know it stacks on itself, so the more you add, the more betterer it actually does sound. I layer as many as I need in order to get the audio in decent enough shape, but do keep in mind this is only our foundational layer. We obviously need the pedal to sound good, not just betterer, and that's where the next plugin comes in, and that's called Practice. Now, people joke online about, you gotta practice more in order to sound good, tones in the fingers, whatever. Well, no, Practice is actually a plugin by this company called... And get this one uses groundbreaking analog AI technology actually developed back in the 70s as part of a top secret government program that I'm not allowed to go into detail about. Unfortunately, it is a subscription that they make us pay for. Well, I can only assume because, you gotta hire the tiny little man who will live inside your computer, who's the key to the operation of this whole thing. Don't get me wrong, he is definitely worth the price. Super talented, sweet guy actually. But basically his job is to alter your input signal, no matter what you're playing, and make it sound like you know what you're doing with your instrument. Within the plugin, you can choose from a ton of different genre presets. Now, a lot of them are blues styles, and I did ask the tiny little man about this. He said he learned guitar in the 50s and 60s, so that's what he grew up on. He's got a really special place in his heart for those kinds of styles. But he does want you to know that he's worked very hard at honing his skills in other genres. There are plenty of options, and anything you want to do, he is totally down to try and add them as new presets. There's also a lot of settings you can play with, but the only one I typically touch is the skills slider, because personally I'm going for a certain balance in my videos between achievable levels of musicmanship and secretly wishing I were better without putting in any effort. So I take the skills slider down to the lower side. The tiny little man is really good, so just here at 20% is way more than enough for me. Alright, so that's not sounding too bad, but there's one more I add to top it all off, and that is the Fix Shittiness plugin. Usually it only takes one of these because I don't want it to sound too over the top, but if a pedal sound is particularly awful, it can do with two. Probably not more than that though, because people will start getting suspicious. Now, sometimes a pedal actually sounds so bad that there's nothing even 1,000 plugins can fix, and that's when you ascend to a higher level of being by plugging in straight to the amp and playing pedal free as God intended. There's actually a few common examples and methods found in the auditory deception packet I was telling you about earlier, so these are the tricks that we all use. For example, for an amazing sounding plexi in a box, what if I told you what you're hearing was an actual plexi? And this one here says, perfect hairy breakup tone, just stuff dog hair and your X into your amp. Okay. Oh, and here's one of my favorites. For ethereal ambient echoes, it's fairly simple. All you gotta do is travel to the astral plane, hand guitars to a few fourth dimensional beings who have really good timing, and tell them you want modulated dotted eighths. Of course, you have to specify modulated because if you don't say it explicitly, you'll end up with just ethereal echoes instead of ethereal ambient echoes. That's a mistake I'll never make again because the commute times from the astral plane are just atrocious. My tip is if you're planning to go on a weekend, leave before 9. So yeah, pedal demos aren't honest. Sometimes they're even straight up fabrications. The whole industry is, actually. Unfortunately, this is only information I've come to know from being a part of it, and well, now you know too. I assume the Guitar Pedal Industrial Complex will hunt me down for sharing this information with you, so if you don't hear from me again, well, I assume you'll be able to piece it together. And of course, as per the deal I made with the devil to become a small-time pedal YouTuber, please like and subscribe, and of course, buy my merch. Alright, till next time, if there is one, this is Megan L signing off.